Hi guys, we've had a little bit of a leak on the Harlequin stuff for the Gangs of Commorragh. You know how much I'm into that game at the moment if you've been watching the channel. So I want to take a few moments to go through what we've seen and sort of give you my opinion on what it's about. Now I'm not going to show you the rules or the pictures that we've seen, but I've got them on my phone here. I'm a little bit cautious when it comes to Games Workshop because of how they used to be. I'm not sure if they're still the same. They've got a cracking sense of humour now when it comes to this sort of thing, but I really don't want to push it. So I'm going to keep it fairly vague, but I wanted to talk through the main points. I'm also going to try and keep it quite quick because you're just looking at me on the screen. That's not great. So of course, do other things, paint miniatures, play games, do the washing up, do whatever you feel like, rather than looking at this old mug on the screen. Anyway, so what have we been given? So we've been given basically the page from White Dwarf has got stat lines for 3 new pilots, 2 new vehicles, 6 weapons from the Harlequins. So we've got 3 Harlequins. We've got a player, lead, and a troop master. Points 70, 125, and 200. Now, they've got piloting skills, or piloting, of 2, 3, and 4. Fairly basic, to be honest. Those are your choices, essentially. Then you've got 2 vehicles. Now, the interesting thing about these vehicles is that all 2 of them, have 2 spaces for pilots. So, you've got the Star Weaver and the Void Weaver. Now, I keep going to say Void Reaver and Sky Reaver. If you're familiar with the models from the Harlequins, you'll know that they've got 2 models on them, and the same is true here. You're basically using the same models. Now, these have got fairly high agilities. I'll go on to why I pulled that strange face when I mentioned that in a moment. They've got a fairly high agility of 7 and 8, so that's the same as a jet bike. And also a Hellion. Let me just check. Yeah, so same as jet bikes and Hellions, basically. However, they've got a reduced turning arc. Both of those have got a turning arc of 45 rather than the 60 and the 75 that we can see with the Dark Eldar. So we've got 6 new weapons. We've got the Shuriken Cannon and pistols. We've got the Star Bolus, which is a 1-use only weapon. We've got a Zephyr Glaive, which has a variable rule, which you can add 1 to hits or to kills. There's a new rule. Prismatic Cannon and Haywire Cannon. Haywire Cannon, if it doesn't kill what it's trying to hit, basically puts 2 damage markers on it instead of just the 1. Essentially, just keeping the rules fairly simple. Now, that's basically what we've been given. The good. What do I consider to be the good things in here? So it's good for the game. We're getting to see new armies added. So hopefully we're going to get to see the Eldar added, maybe even some stuff from the Imperium. You never know. I think it's really good that they're adding new stuff to it. It can only be good things for this little game. So I'm excited on that front. Of course, new factions, new weapons. Love it. Haywire. I I love Haywire. Maybe we'll see some new Dark Eldar stuff in with Haywire as well. Maybe some Scourge, and they're working on that sort of thing. It's really cool. Now, one really cool thing that they've added is this sets the precedent for vehicles. That's something that's been really interesting. I've actually been thinking for the past few weeks on how to add vehicles into the game, because one of the reasons for that is I wanted to set up a game where basically it was a solo, and the only way that I can see of doing that, rather than having to set up AI, so you've got an opposing gang with AI for every single model, is that you have one big enemy that you're trying to take down. And the way of doing that is by making that enemy either a Venom or a Raider with crew. And that simplifies the AI choices that you've got to make, and you can make the system fairly simple, but you can also add depth to it, and it just makes it work a lot better. A lot of the solo games that you can see where you play in a skirmish game, the thing that you're fighting against has a fairly simple AI system, and sort of compressing that into one thing that you're fighting can be fairly successful and really speeds the process up. So making that into a vehicle really works. And what this does, these new rules, is it introduces vehicles basically with more than one model. So that's great. What we're going to get is we're going to get rules for multi-crew vehicles, which is fantastic. Something I really wanted to get hold of. Now I'm going to move on to the bad. The bad is also on vehicles. Now I was thinking, when I was thinking how to make a vehicle more survivable, I was thinking you can't really make it more agile. It's a big vehicle. It's not going to move around like a jet bike or a Hellion skyboard. It's just not going to zip and up and down and around. So how can you make it more survivable? Well, you make it so that small arms don't hurt it. And how do you do that? You make it so that the roll's already in there, right? When you're making the kill roll, so you've hit the vehicle you're trying to hit, and then when you're rolling to kill it, the roll's already in there. So when you're hitting a Hellion, you add one to your kill roll because it's easier to kill. Why not do it the other way around? So when you're hitting something that's hard to kill, like a vehicle, take off. So take off 3, and that basically means that out of the box, an undamaged vehicle can't be wounded by a splinter rifle. Simple as that. You have to hit it with things that can wound it, like power swords and heat lancers, that sort of thing. They can damage it, and then once it's been damaged and plates have been taken off, then your splinter rifles can start plinking away and take it down. That's how I thought they would have done it, but no, what they've actually done is they've actually made it more agile, which means that it's more capable of doing maneuvers. Which doesn't sit well with me. So I don't like the route they've gone with that. That's the bad that I see in these rules, but we've got to take it, I suppose. That's the way they've gone with it. We've got to stick with it. So I like that they've added vehicles in, but I don't necessarily like the way they've done it. I think there was another way they could have gone, another way they should have gone, but overall, I'm happy that they've done it. So what don't we know? We don't know if there's any new skills around the fact that you've got 2 models in a vehicle. There might be new skills associated with only being a pilot and only being a gunner, for example. Again, the same. Who fires the different weapons? Because on one of the vehicles, you've got a weapon facing backwards, a weapon facing forwards. Does the pilot fire the front facing and the gunner shoot the rear facing? We don't know. I would imagine so. What happens if the pilot's killed? Can you kill one or the other, or does the whole thing go down? If the pilot's killed, can the gunner jump in the pilot's seat? All of that we don't really know. I'd imagine the second page might fill all that stuff in, but yeah. So there's lots more rules to come. So what do you think? Does anybody other than me care about this game? I've seen reviews, not many playthroughs on YouTube. Did everybody just buy the game so they could play? So they could buy the less than half price models and vlog them or put them into their armies. What do people think about the new armies being added into the game? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do really. Wanted to get that out there. Saw the rules today, got excited, felt the need to make a video and get it out there. Right then, thank you very much for watching. Catch up with me in between videos over here. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Stay well, guys.